welcome to the Tolleson-Mack, and we are back in the Buckle Bunny room. Special guest, Tony Mendes. How are you, buddy?
Thank you, sir. Couldn't be better.
My man, Cesar Cruz is here.
You bet. Glad to be back.
This podcast is brought to you by Hauser Built Retriever Truck Beds out of up there in northern Arizona. They build the best in the business. Hauser Built Retriever Truck Beds. Tony, what's up, dude? How you been? I seen you at a team roping. What's going on?
Right?
I love it. I love it.
Caesar's loving that you're team roping.
You know, you just gave me chills just thinking about it. I love it. I love team roping. I remember my brother, Scott Mendes, world champion, telling me, you need to choose between team roping and bull riding. And I remember thinking, why? Like, I can just do them both, you know?
Right.
But he knew the truth. You know, you can't compete at that level and do both, just like Cesar knows. You got to have a horse at them deals. And I love team roping so much that it's a passion. Everybody said, what are you going to do when you get done riding bulls? You know, I'm a team rope.
Yeah.
If I hurt my left hand riding bulls, I can rope. If I hurt my right hand, I can ride bulls, you know. So it's just something I love to do, passion. My heart's deep in it.
So we're going to run down a list of accolades. Stop me if I'm wrong. I think I got the right notes, but I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
You win the NARC finals in 95.
Yes, sir.
96, you're the PRCA Rookie of the Year. 97, you head way south, down to Brazil, right? But before you leave, you go ahead and win Cheyenne.
Yeah.
Yeah. 98, 99, both qualified. Both those years you qualified to the NFR. And in 99, you qualified to the NFR and the PBR finals. And from 99 to 2013, qualified every year.
Yes, sir.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Look back and it's like, wow, you know, that's a lot. But
yeah. But I mean, what a ride, huh?
I thank God every day for it. You know, there's a lot of memories, meeting great people like yourself, Cesar, you guys. It's a family of life right there. And that list right there has got a lot of stories.
So we talk to a lot of guys on here, and guys are always they say the same, you know, we read down this list of things they did and they say the same thing. But Tony, I've known you for a long time, and I ain't never known you to not have a smile on your face. So when you say that, like,
right,
that means a lot to you, that list means a lot to you, I 100% believe that, you know what I mean? And I was going back and I was showing my daughter. No, I was sending them to Brandon. I was sending him some videos. I was like, oh man, watch him ride Clayton's Pet. Watch him ride this bull. You know, all these old bulls. And we got our buddy Jake Holloway. He's like about our age. And me and Jake talk about them old bull rides all the time.
Yeah.
You know, Wolfman Skull and all those old school bulls, you know. So looking back, and what were some of your favorite memories of that list? I mean, I know it's hard to.
Yeah, boy, because you look back and you think about it, but I would have to say Cheyenne was probably the most memorable one. You know, just having that feeling of where I belonged and the daddy of them all. You know, and it seems like everybody was there. It's just family. You know, you're camped out. You're there for the duration.
That's what Cesar says.
Yeah, and it's just your home. You know, you might not be home, but you feel like you're home, and that's just what a lot of that, you know, great success comes from, is being positive and happy and having fun. You know, things are bad and tough and no good. I still try to find what's best about it, you know, and then feed off of it and make it better.
Yeah, like I seen you at the roping last night. I said, how you doing? You said, I ain't doing too good, but you were still smiling.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Still smiling.
No, and that's, you know, just like anything, you're only as good as your last run, but you got to get better with every time you turn and nod your face or, you know, run at something, you gotta just, it starts over, you know.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what I love about team roping, is you can make mistakes and still be great. You know, you just got to work at it, try hard, ride a good horse, right?
It's tough roping. I was there yesterday and I took my little boys over there, and man, like, you got to get them caught fast.
Yeah.
Like people are riding good horses, and like even the low number opens, it's like, man,
yeah,
it's a real deal from the highest level down to the lowest level. It's getting real competitive.
You know, seeing his kids there is just like, that's our future right there. You know, and if
the wolf pack,
that's right. They're feeding, boys. Yeah.
Yeah. there was 990 teams
Yep.
Yeah.
at that deal. They gave away a couple like of those little feed trucks, little Chinese. I don't know what they are, little
Yeah.
Chinese feed trucks,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call them.
Actually, it was a used truck.
Yeah, they
They
were
were
used,
used, yeah.
but the wrap on it was
The
new.
wrap
Wrap was
new.
brand
The
new.
wrap was brand new.
I was wondering about the warranty program they were
Yeah.
going to send with that deal.
But like I was thinking about that, and some people were kind of bitching. Oh, these things are used, and I thought to myself, well, you guys would have still. came
Yeah.
here and
It ain't
rode-
leaving your place. You're not driving on the highway.
You
It's
would have
just
still
it's
came
gonna go
here
5
and
miles an
rode
hour
for
the whole
these
time.
buckles
Yeah.
and the payout. Plus, you're getting one of these cool little trucks. To drive
Definitely.
around.
I thought that same thing. I still would have wanted to win it.
Oh, everybody would have wanted.
I took my boys over there hoping they'd win both of them. That way I could
bet.
make one a welding rig and then one a feed rig, you know?
Yeah.
So I had some ideas, but
Had
way, way it
some
goes.
big plans. Had some big plans.
Hey, I've gone to Brazil a few times to
Yeah.
do some roping schools and stuff, and
Oh.
they always talk about barretos.
Yeah.
And tell me about that. You said you missed the finals a little bit, but
Yeah.
is that the biggest rodeo you've ever got to compete
Oh
at?
man, it's amazing. I never regret the day I went there. Missing out on going to the finals that year was, but the memories and the experiences. I actually team roped over there.
Yeah.
We were at the event there, and they had the level of their competitiveness and like you never. It amazed me that they were team roping, but yet they come over here and beat us. And it's just like in the bull riding, they're family and they're dedicated and they push each other, they help each other. I'm interested to see how it goes in the future with team roping.
Yeah.
If in an international level.
I tell people that Junior Nogueira, he's like the Adriano Moraes.
Right,
It was just a
absolutely.
start, and he's gonna
Where's the
bring
rest of them?
more coming down, I think. And man, the style is different, but the healing, the way they heal feed over there.
Oh,
Them steers are 600 pound. They're monsters.
Right.
They're
muleys?
the Lores, they call them. They're kind of a bramer.
But they're
It's a-
muleys.
Yeah,
They're not
yeah.
team
Yeah,
steers.
no steers, and they hit, and they're wild, and that's where Junior gets his flamboyant style. But
I
he's
think-
trying to keep his hands away from the saddle horn because they dally twice over there to stop the steer. Like
yeah.
them steers are big and
Right.
they hit real hard.
That's why he lays back.
Oh yeah.
He's getting a hold.
Yeah.
All them guys, they dally and they
Little
set them down.
leverage, yeah.
And it's just a different style. But yeah, I've seen some videos, and I had some buddies tell me all about Barretos. So that's the
Yeah.
biggest rodeo in the world. They said
Right.
Vegas is big and
Yeah.
title and stuff. But
They,
as far as people and stuff at one place.
Oh
it's-
yeah, down in that dome right there, they
It's like a soccer
yeah.
stadium, right?
It is. It's
Yeah.
it when you get in the middle of that, the energy. The announcer he
Oh
he
yeah.
dropped from the helicopter probably like 20, 30 feet, dude. He was hanging on it, and they picked him up and then dropped him like it.
Yeah.
Me and my brother were sitting back there talking. We thought got ranked bull riding. We look over and there's a girl running with her tits. Then there's a fist fight over here. They spread out. They
Yeah.
just stop everything, fight. All right, here we go.
Concerts too, right?
Yeah.
That's a big concert.
Big
right?
concert.
Yeah.
They're
know
like
how to party.
camping. Like I see,
Oh,
like
yeah.
they're camping. We had Jackson, Judd Mortensen.
Oh yeah.
So Judd's boy Jackson went
Yeah.
down there, and he was telling us.
He
the
told
same
me the same
That
story.
same
He told me
story.
the other day. Yeah,
He was loving it.
I just put my head down. I'm like, gosh, man, if you only knew, if you only knew. But it is. I felt like when he told me that story, I was like brought back memories, and it was me, when I was his age, and that's
awesome.
life. That's life, and that's our next generation, and if we don't sit here and help them guys and have something to lead to, then
Yeah.
we're not gonna have it,
Oh well, our lifestyle and stuff. We're in the States, but you go down there, the cowboy
Yeah.
is still alive down there,
Right.
and like you can relate to people down there just
Sure.
because you're cowboy and you ride
Absolutely.
bulls or rope or just
That's
like
right.
they're like that's what I got a kick out of it. I was like, man, there's some real
Yeah.
talent down there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Yeah.
So that year in '97, you leave, or Cheyenne, then you leave, or
Yeah,
how did that work?
Man, like back in them days, it's been so many miles and days, but it seemed like that's why I missed the finals. I was in Washington or something, and I either had the choice to go to Brazil or enter up and try to make the finals. And I mean, I guess my cocky thinking I'd just make both of them would happen, but it was a blessing, in that time right there to be able to step out of this, U.S. soil.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
go
that's
see
pretty
it.
fun, right? I mean, that's something some guys once in a lifetime.
Yeah, no, it's a blessing every day of my life that I went.
And your
there.
brother went with you?
Yeah. It was.
Let's talk about your brother a little bit.
Yeah.
So he was one of the original 10 OGs to start the
Correct.
PBR, right?
$1,000.
Is that what it was, right? 1,000 they put in,
Yeah.
and then it was all 10 of those guys, and they were just going to do bull riding.
Yeah.
That was their thought process. So where did the stocks come in?
You know,
there was something with stocks,
sure.
right?
Well, like anything with sports, it's got to grow, and they wanted it to expand to international, and they wanted that level. But it seems like when they really got big, if you finished in the top 10, you got a chance to purchase stocks, And at that point, I didn't even know what stocks were. I just people.
How old were you, probably?
Oh, 24, 25. And I wish I had a time lapse of everything just in detail, because I'm 46 now, and you're talking 25 years away of memories of here and there. But it basically, they did have that stock option, and then seems like I don't know what year they sold to Spires. Would have been anybody?
5?
Not sure the dates.
2005?
I think a little later.
Later? Maybe 10 or something. But I know it was right in there somewhere.
Yeah, and then and Tough, he stepped away and started the CBR, and it seemed like there was a lot of differences of opinions on where.
So
where
when Tough stepped away and started the CBR, did he step away because him and Cody weren't getting along, or what's the deal?
I'm not gonna cut my throat on that deal, for sure. I'm not gonna slit my throat, but like the basic.
Just
deal,
even looking on the outside. I mean, you don't got to say it, but I mean, there's something. Why would somebody leave the PBR to go?
Well, I might be wrong. I've been that way before, but I think Tough was really truly about the bull riders.
Yeah.
Tough in his heart was about the bull riders, and he could kind of see where the sport was going, when the cameras would follow a guy in the back and punching walls, and they wanted to see bull rides. It seemed like they got out of the real tradition of bull riding for the bull riders, and kind of got towards the politics of the corporate sponsors, and I was sponsored by the Outdoor Channel. They were giving me $3,000 a month to go put the moose on the back of my vest. And Seminole Tribe of Florida, they started paying me $3,000 a month, and this was the greatest part of my life. And then, they called me up. Justin Key calls me up one day and says, "Hey, how big is that sponsor you're getting from the Outdoor Channel?" I said, "It's good, buddy. I'm living life." And he said, "You might want to drop that deal and weigh out some other options, because they're not showing you on TV, because the Outdoor Channel was a confliction with the Outdoor Life Network, see?" Okay. So they said, "Well, here, you're top 10 rider. We don't want to be doing this," because I was like, man, why are they not, them other guys in the PBR, they got family, they got friends. They wanted to be seen on TV. They wanted to be a part of it. And it just cut them out, you kind of got the top gets bigger, and it just got where it was a struggle for the bottom guys to be able to get on TV, get sponsors, because the top guys was getting it all swallowed up, and I was a top guy for a minute, and I got that feeling of what it was. And I don't know, maybe I regret it, but I sold myself out, which was a blessing. And they picked me up Bowtech. Yeah. So it was a blessing, because, boy, that opened up a lot of doors in my lifestyle. The way that I live my life, hunting and outdoor. It was.
So you were probably not only a top bull rider, but you were a good fit for the product.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it was a blessing, and that's. The Lord works in mysterious ways. You don't understand it until you live it. And I think He did have a plan in a lot of directions in that deal, but it just kind of it got to the point where I think that's where the CBR kind of formed up. It wasn't about the bull riders no more. It was about the corporate sponsors and the dollars, and the CBR, bless their heart for trying, and I encouraged it because it was for the bull riders. But when you try to do something and with bad intention, it's just not going to work, And I think I wish I would have never seen Tough split off and start the CBR, just for the sake of the, our lifestyle is hard, let alone fighting over who's got what and whose bulls are better, who's politicking the most, but anyway, with that stock deal, it kind of tough broke off there, and then they, Spires come in and bought up, and it was just a big fog in that time in my life, because trying to ride bulls and take my family everywhere and be a top guy, it's hard to jump a plane. You got the turn pro division to the built for tough, and then one week you'd be down, you're not in, and then they call you and, hey, you got to be in Billings tomorrow. You're back in, and then you got to get a $1,200 flight to go up there to, it wasn't a real business sensible situation at sometimes, but it was just the fact that when CBR, come about, it diluted our sport, I guess is what I'm saying. Instead of just making it better, it kind of diluted it and took it out in different directions.
I compare everything on here usually like to other sports, right? So, like if the UFC is the PBR, then CBR is like Bellator or Professional Fight League or something like that. And you can see that happening. And like it dilutes it. So I think you're 100% right with that. But I'm gonna play a little devil's advocate because that's what my job is here. But you guys need those big corporate sponsors to get down the road. But it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? So that's you want Nike on your back, but if you got Nike on your back, maybe another buddy of yours don't have Nike on his back. That's got to be tough for you guys, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's how everything grows. If you notice, if you watched, remember back to PBRs, you always had two guys that kicked ass. Like Ross Coleman and Justin McBride. They were Chris Shivers, Mike White. You couldn't beat them. Going back to that Judd Mortensen, Brock Mortensen, you couldn't beat us when us three was in the van and we were yelling and people would look at us like we were crazy, but we had
but that was
intense cowboy life. We put our whole heart into it. So
that's tough saying that movie, Drinking, Fighting, Dying. That's cowboy.
Right. Yeah. That's right. Cowboy life.
Yeah. Do you miss that? Gotta miss it, right?
I do every day. I wake up and I wonder where my life would have been without it. And I just smile because of all the great times, memories, blessings of the whole life experience of riding bulls. I do. I miss it with the camaraderie of the people. And, you don't go nowhere without somebody saying, oh, I got a bull riding story, or this kid, they can relate to it, and that's what. It's a good conversational start.
Well, when I told Cesar you're coming on, he's like, he signed a card for me at Tucson.
Yeah, back in the day, man. I was,
like, what?
He's talking about 96, 97. I was just kind of 12, 13 years old about that time.
You was that young?
Dude, I'm 40. So, you're 40 what?
I'm 46.
So, 96.
It seemed like you were entered.
No, man. I entered the steer ride about 4 years in a row over there. Yeah,
He's
dude.
a roughie.
Yeah, I was a roughie hard, man. And I did ride the steers over there, but yeah, no, man. I them bulls hit too hard, man.
They played for real.
Yeah, and I like to rope a lot, and it's like, man, I kind of made a choice right there. Same thing, man. It's like you're either going to be all in on. If you want to be the best, you got to be all in and one or the other.
Right.
Like I know Trey Benton. There, he ropes pretty good, and like there's some guys that can do both, man. But like the one that they shine the most is the one that they work the hardest at, So
doesn't Josh Frost work both ends?
Yeah, dude, Josh Frost, the calf roping son of a gun, dude. Yeah, dude, real
he
cowboy.
wins the Linderman Award like every
Bulldogs,
year.
dude. He ended up with a bulldog, and then he'll do good too. You're like, man,
that
awesome. Guy's for real.
Right.
Who's kind of somebody right now, Tony, that you keep an eye on? I mean, just kind of
well, man, that's what I love the future of our sport, but it's really tough because if you think about it, why do we rope, team rope?
Love it, man.
Either we love it or we got plenty of money.
Yeah.
Love it because I don't have plenty of money.
Hey, that's a good way to,
I mean,
that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
I've contemplated a lot in my days, and one thing about team roping is it's foolish for a businessman to think about spending $500 to go win the 1,000. But
Yeah, you can't
we
put
love
too
it.
much of a pencil to team roping.
Not at all. You just got to have that heartbeat and the camaraderie of the people that you're around. And that's the thing about team roping is you can't go to one and have bad mojos around anybody.
Yeah,
you
you
know, they're
can't.
all good people. They're, you'll find a bad egg everywhere you go. But team roping's everybody's in a good mood and get your mind off all the other stuff.
Yeah, I may or may not leave my phone accidentally in
Right.
the truck when I go to team roping.
That's right.
Well, it's like the golfing, right? I mean, any age group, you can enjoy it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Some
Family.
people are better than the others, but yeah, it's like a like you talk about family. It's a community out there, and you 990 teams yesterday, and everybody's kind of getting along. We were there from 8 o'clock in the morning till freaking midnight. Everybody's getting along good, and kind of the roping had to run a certain way. I think I seen one guy cut his thumb off out there. Yeah, the main arena's like, man, they
That's
just
not good.
kept rolling it. No big deal.
rolling.
Let's get this guy out of here.
Man,
Part
shout
of
out to Flores, the flagger.
Yeah, he rode
dude,
over there.
He's,
Like,
that dude is so freaking cool. He'll like. I watched him yesterday flag out a guy for crossfire, and rode right back over. And this guy's throwing a fit, and he's just waiting for the next team. He don't give a shit about that guy throwing a fit. He said, hey, like
he's like a bull, though. You get closer, the bigger he gets.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So he better be.
I guarantee you don't want him to climb down off that horse and have a discussion with you.
Telling you.
But I don't see very many people argue with that guy. But this guy was throwing a little bit of a fit, and Flores did. I mean, he just didn't give a shit.
This isn't man. Rules are rules.
Yeah, I mean, the steer, like the one that he flagged out, I was watching, like the header's rope hadn't even came tight yet. And the guy had, seen it?
I remember watching
and
that
he had
deal.
already had roped. I'm like,
I wondered why the guy would even question the deal.
Yeah, like-
what's he gonna get? Oh, okay, let's give him a time. Yeah, let's give him a
let's
time.
go ahead and give him a time and give him another one. Like, literally opposite of what you're doing. Like,
You bet.
it was kind of wild. So, so do you put on some bull riding schools?
No, are we gonna get into that segment?
I'm sure
We got time now.
we got time.
We got time.
All right.
I got
Well,
nothing but time.
no, unfortunately, a lot of my bull riding life come to an end when I lost my my brother-in-law about 5 years ago to a bull riding accident up in Baggs, Wyoming. Rode his bull, got off, and he crawled to the catch pen because that was his deal. He could get out of there. He could crawl really good. He'd out-crawl anybody running, and just crawled to the catch pen in the wrong spot, and this bull hooked him. Didn't make it, and changed my life forever. It used to be something that would make me happy to talk about bull riding, and now it's something that makes me contemplate and think of why we do it. And it gives me a lot of real answers, because you can't just do it. You gotta live it. You gotta be all in. And if I would ever ask myself, is that gonna be my sacrifice? It didn't matter to me because I didn't understand it. And now I understand it. It's real. He left behind 2 little girls. And
One,
Rayleigh, gosh dang it. I tell you.
Rayleigh borrowed my daughter's head horse the other day and roped all day and roped so good and was the nicest little girl.
I'm telling you,
She was so cool.
Thank you for that.
Oh, of course, man.
That's what makes my heart beat,
Yeah, she was so cool.
And so it's been tough, and I never wanted to walk away from bull riding the way I did, but I never wanted my family to be in the situation they're in, and I wanted to ride more and stronger and better at that point, and there was just no way that I could have my wife get that phone call again, or be in that situation where she's got to wonder if I'm going to come home and support my family, and it definitely changed. So at this point, I turned that chapter. I'll still talk bull riding. I get excited. I get places. I'll talk about memories and life experiences. But at the end of the day, I just put my head down and shake and just wonder why we do it. All the other events, you got a purpose. You bronc riding, you can turn a horse into a day work. You cowboying, team roping, you could doctor a calf or a steer, and you got purpose in it. But bull riding was always just bragging rights, and it's good. I think that there's a lot of people that need bull riding in their life, and it's an outlet for situations of life. Maybe people lose close people to them, and they don't know how to deal with it. So it's kind of a life altering, lifestyle. You can change your demeanor pretty quick with the bull riding lifestyle, and it just, gosh dang, it's tough, man. I don't know.
Well, from somebody I didn't know your brother-in-law, obviously, but I do know his daughter.
Yeah.
And you said, hey, I'm going to come and rope the house. I'm like, cool. And you said, oh, I'm going to bring, my niece and people over there with us. Sure, come on, everybody come over. And then you said, you know a head horse that my niece could use? I said, yeah, she can use my daughter's horse, no problem. So you introduced me to her, and I was telling her about this horse. I said, I promise you, like, this horse will do everything you need it to do. I said, it's good. I've roped on it. Andy's roped on it. It came from everywhere, everybody. We've picked up broncs on this horse. Like, it's a do-it-all.
Yeah.
And she listened to everything I said. She did exactly what I said, and she was having a little problem. I think she was just having a little problem because it was a new horse, and I asked her mom.
Right.
I asked her mom. I said, "Can I talk to her for a second?" So I walked up to the heading box and I said, "Hey," I said, "just treat this horse like it's yours." I said,
Yeah.
I said, you ain't gonna hurt my feelings or nobody's feelings. I said, you just ride this horse like it's yours. She said, "Yes, sir." And next one, whack. Yeah. I mean, just hammered it down.
Yeah.
And then Tony says, "Hey, heel one for us." I go over there to heel one, and man, I'm telling you, Cesar, I felt more pressured healing for this little girl. Like, I had to get 2 feet. Like, there was no option, Yeah. And we roped one there, and boy, she was all happy and smiling. So, like I said, I didn't know your brother-in-law, but I do know his daughter, and she's a good one.
She is. And Jason, he was the glue to our family. He kept everybody stuck together. If anybody had problems, they'd call him. I remember a few times parking my truck in his driveway just so he'd fix my door window or something. He was he'd do anything for anybody. I promise you, he was the most 100% American dad, husband,
one of those guys that makes you feel like you're not doing your job when you're around him. You're like, God, this guy.
Yeah.
He's taking all these kids to soccer.
I'm telling you, he was an amazing man, and the memories that the kids that I thank you for that yesterday or the day before, and you're right. It is a special little girl right there, and that's what life is sharing and having the opportunities and leaning on each other. And I told my wife, I said, "Man, did you see how he asked if he could talk to Braley?"
Yeah.
Most people, they see kids and they just bap their opinion, but you had the respect.
Well, I mean, I just kind of,
it.
Yeah, and I didn't want to, like you said, like go in there hard at her or anything, So but she was super respectful, and it's like when you talk to Caesar's boys, they stand there and they listen to everything you have to say, and if you say go here and turn left, that's what they're gonna do. You know what I mean? And that comes from their family. That comes from the raising. So that was pretty fun. So man, they're always welcome at my place.
I love it.
For sure.
Thank you.
You talked about loving it, like you love team roping, like you love bull riding, and you said that you wanted to keep your family around the team roping side of it. Yeah. Bull ride's been tough, but the team roping side seems like it's fun for you because everybody gets to rope. Everybody's having fun out there, right?
Yeah, well, that's the truth. And everybody, you can rope with your wife, you can rope with your kid, you can rope with your best friend and still compete. And so we adopted a boy.
Leo,
watch out. I'm telling you, watch out. Leo's my wife's cousin's baby, and she was in a bad position in her life. Her dad, or her Leo's dad and mom were both in prison and on drugs, and it's been a 1.5 to 2 year fight, to get the termination rights from the parents. But that's where we're at in this deal. Is I got 3-year-old start over deal, and I didn't want Leo getting raised in the society that our kids are getting raised in. So team roping is the only exit out of any politics, any dramatic experiences. It's like when you team rope, there's all your cares go away. You're not thinking about what's going to happen. And
you're not going to back in the box and ask that guy if he's a Democrat or
right,
Republican.
exactly, absolutely, that's right. You don't even care. You don't care. You don't care. Just turn him and let's win first.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it's about.
But I could see, like I said, I've been a fan for a long time, so I watched you ride bulls. I mean, I could sit right here and tell you pretty much every one of your big rides, 90, 90 and a half, 88.5. Like I watched a bunch of them. And to watch you yesterday, because I was over there watching all you guys, and dude, you were just as competitive in the heeling box or the heading box as you ever were getting down on a bull. I think that's just your competitive nature.
Absolutely.
And team roping's helping you feel it. But I think what Cesar says is a great point.
Yeah.
Your whole family can kind of get more involved with team roping. I mean, your family dang sure came to all the bull rides, I'm sure.
Right.
But with team roping, your whole family was involved.
That's right.
It's pretty neat.
Well, my wife ropes extremely well.
Yeah, we were trying to get her to rope the other day.
Yeah, boy.
I think Brayley stole her horse.
That's right. Yeah, so it is good, and it's the lifestyle that we want to raise Leo in. I don't have the money to just go out and say I'm gonna spend the last of my savings to go do this, but the price of raising a kid in the right environment is worth it. It's priceless. It's priceless. There ain't a value on it. It's just put all the money and all the heart you can into them.
Yeah. All right. Hey, welcome back to the second half with my man Tony Mendes. How was the Mountain Dew?
Oh, it's good. Thank you.
All right. How about Rat Bastard? Have you tried that?
Hey, we need to give you some. I think you'd like them.
Are you going to Reno?
Are you doing anything with this?
Man, I got some buddies that they helped me out a little bit with that. And man, go ahead and try it. I tell you what, I dig them just because they don't have any sugar, and I've had Monsters and I've had the other ones, but
oh man,
it's hard on my stomach, them other ones, but those right there are pretty. I like it.
When you drink Red Bull, you can't get hold.
Well, I can't drink Red Bull without Crown in it, so it kind of takes the edge off.
Yeah, that's right,
man. But yeah, they're pretty cool. Like I've been good. I like them when I drive. Oakland and stuff. I've been going to these show horse events, and they're Texas and
tell me about those a little bit.
Man, I love them, man.
I love that one at the Lazy E. That was fun.
Yeah, that's why I got into the game as the horse for sure. Like I just love horses. They're the animal, and they're breeding them to the best and showing them. The best guys in the world are showing them. It's just very cool. It's a different world than rodeo.
Right, I know, and that's what. Let me ask you, what's your favorite bred bloodline right now?
Man, there's the Cat Itchies and
Itchy.
Yeah, there's Metallic Cats and there's Gonna Trash Yous, and so they've been making really good rope horses. I rode one at Guthrie a couple months ago. My buddy Dakota Kirchner slaughter trained, and he's a big, stout Metallic Cat stallion. And man, when you dally on him, he just wrecks cattle. He's just strong.
That yellow horse you rode at Lazy.
Yeah, that's another stallion. That's kind of a Frenchman's guy. I ride. Yeah, he's a big 15-1.
Rank.
I mean, just wrecking shop.
Yeah.
I ride for Bill Myers a little bit from South Dakota, and he has the Frenchman's guy stallion. And man, those bloodlines are pretty neat because those are more like running type,
right?
And they're fast. They make head horses because they're bigger. They're 15-1, 15-2 horses in it. If you can find a smaller one, they make really cool little heel horses because you've been to the ropings now. They got that heeling barrier strapped out there.
Yeah.
And if you ain't got a heel horse that can get up there, it feels like you're never gonna get there.
That's the difference right there with me. And I mean, I could be Tony Mendes that goes and donates, or I could be Tony Mendes that wins first, and it's all on the horse I ride.
I'm telling you.
If I can rope as good as anybody else, but I just don't have the budget as everybody else.
The secret to my success was back in the day was the horses that I was able to ride, and Johnny Ringo, I got him for $5,000 back then. Yeah, it was a
one in a million.
How did you do that?
Well, my uncle bought him, and he kind of slowed down roping a little bit. He's like, "Hey, I'm going to sell this horse," and I ended up selling the horse that I had that was my good one, and bought him, and it was a life changer, man.
Family.
Yeah, I still got him. He's 28 now, and just kind of recently retired him because he my little boy's running barrels on him, and he fell down. But his knees are big, and man, he's crippled up.
So do you
don't
think
know me nothing.
you think it does him better to stay riding him, or to put him away, say, hey, he's 20 years old, we're done, or just
When
keep
he was
riding him?
when he was about 20, he was pretty crippled up, and I thought his career was over. And them kids started getting on him bareback and cruising him around, and you know what? He started moving around.
You never knew he was going to be a barrel horse.
And then he started running poles and barrels and all this stuff, and he had a different, and he kind of liked it because he always the grand entries and kind of all that stuff where he gets to run around the arena and stuff. He loved it, man, and running barrels.
Horses, though, they just want to please. Right?
They love.
So he was probably so happy that your little boys were running around on him.
It was cool because all my boys learned how to ride on him.
Yeah. So he understood. He knew.
Yeah.
And that was like that horse that Braley rode. I mean, that horse is just wants to please. Like no matter what.
Especially if they don't know and they get to kind of control the situation, the speed and whatever.
Yeah.
It's kind of neat. The horse is smart.
A lot of character.
That's what I like about the show horses and stuff, man. They're bred right, and they take really good care of them, the manes and tails, and like there's the horses kind of get a little bit of a personality. They almost come almost human like some of them little suckers. You know what I mean? You can almost communicate with them and just talk to them. Okay, this is what we're gonna do, and then they go out there and do it.
You're on a whole new level than just at a rodeo and just.
Have you been to one of those fraternity?
No, I haven't.
So the one that I went to when we podcasted over there at the Lazy E, that was the first one that I had personally ever went to. And man, I had such a great time watching those guys make those horses work. I mean, it was so much different. You know, you can sit at a team rope and then watch team rope and horses work. And if there's some good guys riding them, then you dang sure see like the control they have. But that's the best guys in the world riding the best horses in the world and everything. So it's like every single run was like,
Can you imagine sitting in the stands and being like, "Hey, I like that heel horse," and then the next one come, "Hey, I like that one," and then like, "Hey, I like that one." Like everyone has a long mane and tail and roans and buckskins, and even like a plain looking sorrel will have a mane and tail. You're
that head horse.
I like, it's like, and then Trevor, you know, we talked about Trevor Brazil. Like he's got a stallion called the Dark Side, and him and Miles Baker ride. That's just, he's beautiful. Blue Roan. It's just they've been beating him up, beating everybody up at the shows on that horse. He's just that good.
And are you able to make a good enough living as you did rodeo?
It's more consistent. I got some outside horses that I can charge, you know.
And it's sure money. It's there.
It's there.
No
it's
matter
there.
if you get a bad deal or not.
There's not enough money for me to go rodeo. It's pretty expensive, you know. But I'm able to make a good enough money to take my boys to the junior rodeos. My wife, Arena, she's awesome. She really supports that and helps out a lot.
And he's a big time podcast star.
Yeah.
And man, been doing this. This is kind of fun. I kind of dug when these guys wanted to do this. It was cool because I like get in the rig. And you know, we got 8 hours to drive, and let's turn the music up. Let's just bullshit. Let's just kind of have a nice little ride. You know, this is kind of what it is too. Like we're gonna jump in the rig and let's just bullshit a little bit, talk about some stuff. And those are the best memories I got because I didn't really like where I grew up. You know what I mean? As soon as I turned 18 and got to go rodeo and rope, I loved it. You know? Let's go travel. Let's wake up in a different place the next day and love it. You know, and you know when you get your family and the boys now I want to be home. Right. So I'm at that point in my stage in my life now. I just want to be home. And I've been everywhere, man.
How many horses did Dakota tell us he had there?
He had 5 head horses and 5 heel horses, and then he had help horses there. Yeah. So, and then there was one show where he took 24, 25 head with all the shows and help horses and this and that. And his wife, Emily, she's awesome too. She ropes on
she's super cool.
Non-pros, they call it, where you can be, I think it's 5 below. You know, 5 and
at the shows.
Yeah, they have a different level.
Then it really shows them horses.
Yeah. That's a thing. Right. And then I mean
because a lot of times those are the guys buying them. Those are the guys owning them.
Every time, like Dakota, he's got 45 outside horses to train. Wow. And like he's out there riding all, like he's got a crew. They ride them all. You know.
Does he need me to come help him?
I can find you a job. And them guys are coming into town too, and they need help.
It's in their one.
Right, they got the Royal Crown coming up here another month or two.
Just prepping and being just
it's weeks in advance. Like the people would come 3 weeks to kind of get them prepared for it, and they'll even take them to a few jackpots and tune up on them a little bit and
get them right.
Yeah, because them horses they take it's like a regular open rope when they got the announcer going on. They got the long barrier. The steers are fresh. It's like they got.
It's the best roping you'll ever watch.
And the horses are babies. They're 4, 5, and 6 years old.
Crazy.
Yeah, they're just babies.
Yeah.
You know. And so
that shows that the real hand of what they are.
Did you watch Logan Medlin at the NFR ride a really pretty heel horse at the NFR, and that horse went through the ranks of that. And so you're going to see a lot of that.
Yeah, that's where they found.
That's the future of the game right there. When they're babies and they turn 7, 8 years old and they're a little too old to show, you're going to see them at the rodeos. Yeah.
That's awesome.
One thing I thought was so cool when we were sitting there watching, you know, the whole deal's over. So heading one day, heeling the next day. That's how they judge the horses. So head horses go first. And then we're podcasting, and I'm looking down the arena, and I see Trevor Brazil, Miles, and Tristan Brazil riding horses in the arena. So I'm like, man, that's pretty wild. Everybody else is up here. They're down there. But you can tell cream rises to the top. Because the next day, we kind of ran into him. We talked to him a little bit. And he said, these horses at this level, a day off for them is like 6 months off for your regular rope horse.
Really?
Yeah, he said because like what Cesar's saying right now, they're so young and babies, and every little thing is something you're teaching them. You know, he said so. He goes, I just wouldn't feel right if I didn't ride these horses today, and then tomorrow I asked them to give me their heart.
Yeah, expect the world out of them.
Yeah,
you bet.
It's just a different world, just a different how they approach it.
Yeah. It's wild, man.
Like you said, that's the separating, and that's what makes him who he is.
And I mean, Dakota, like, I'm watching Dakota rope because, I mean, I just like his style, kind of just out there, a little Wild West, you know?
Yeah.
And then 2 seconds later, he's on a different horse doing the same thing. 5 minutes later, he's on a different horse doing the same thing. It's like these dudes, that is 100% their job.
Right.
Like, they take it very, very seriously. And that whole event over there, and I mean, I know you've been to a million things like this where you walk into a place and you get stopped by some overstimulated security guard, you know, because you don't have
How many of those have you ever met?
Because you don't have the right bracelet on or some shit, right? Oh, these dudes over there, like the whole place was cool. Like you could just go anywhere and like hang out. And everybody was friendly and everybody talked to you, and like it was.
Sounds like I gotta get into it.
Yeah, it's cool.
Billy Myers put that deal on, and if you, I mean, this is just my suggestion. If you ever hear that dude putting on anything anywhere, go because it was super freaking.
You bet.
Cool. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. So, well, you told me you might be headed to Reno, huh? Your mom's birthday.
I need to go see my mom and dad real bad. Reno, Nevada. My dad's got some cowboying to do a little bit. Yeah, he borders the Indian reservation. Then my cattle get over there, and it'll be rattlesnakes and Mustangs for Mavericks. Yeah, Mavericks. Yeah. That's something else I can get into. Another podcast one day. Wild cow chasing. Yeah.
Oh man, This has got to be an off-air story, but I got to tell you guys about Wheeler Erickson the other day.
No,
I love that guy. That's who I high school rodeo with. I'd help him out in Saddle Bronc riding, man.
Oh, yeah.
What do they call
Tom McFarlane and
Wheeler the Bronc peeler or something like that. Crazy, that guy. So, all right, man. Well, we'll let you get out of here and head down to Reno, Nevada, huh?
Yes, sir. I appreciate both of you guys, everybody.
Yeah. I tell you what, I usually like to end these podcasts on something like you got into a little. I need some positive motivation. You're a positive vibe. You know what I mean? If there's a young guy,
positive vibe yourself.
Good.
Maybe a young roper or young bull rider one of these days. Like, what is some advice if you can tell your
try
16-year-old self something?
Try
anything in
life. Try hard. Try. Even if you can't do it, just try.
Yeah.
You know, if they say you can't do it, try harder.
You'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah.
That's the same thing, man. I love it. If you're out there working at it, you'll get better for sure.
All right, man. Well, drive safe.
Yeah, gosh.
Later, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you.